survive this, Optimus Prime. You must!
Micronus Prime Origins. Hello and welcome to another marvelous video. We're back to talk about our favorite Transformers. Today we will be looking at the backstory of Micronus Prime. Primus, the Transformers' creator god, created Micronus Prime, 13's conscience and moral core at the start of time. Primus created the 13, also known as the 13 Primes, and first forged to combat Unicron. They were each assigned a Prime status and addressed as such. Although the tiniest member of this revered group, Micronus Prime, boasts endless amounts of energy and a brilliant intellect, allowing him to foresee his brothers and sisters' activities before they even know what they're about to do. So without further ado, let's take a look at the origin story of Micronus Prime. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin.
An Intellectibot you're definitely not. They're not defenseless, Optimus.
Micronus Prime Origins. Aligned continuity. Micronus Prime used to be the 5th Prime to be produced to combat Unicron, according to the Book of Data called the Covenant of Primus or the Book of Primus. As the Primes started preparing for their next campaign against the Chaos Bringer, Micronus drifted toward the growing sect of strategists. Their initial interactions with a virtual replica of Unicron went terribly. Megatronus and Micronus, on the other hand, were certain that Unicron regarded himself too independent to form a comparable organization of Dark Primes. Micronus assisted Solus in her forge as the Primes began constructing weapons for the upcoming fight with Unicron. He would supplement her hammer strokes with his own energy, allowing her to manufacture formidable tools and weapons. The Chimera Stone, which would become Micronus' favorite item, was one of them. Micronus befriended Onyx Prime as Solus worked with the other Primes, and the two grew inseparable. While the 13 prepared and plotted, Micronus collaborated with Solus Prime and the other strategists to build a colossal computer capable of going through all of Unicron's conceivable reactions to an attack, a precursor to Vector Sigma. When the time came to fight Unicron, Micronus acted as a saboteur, hoping to injure and distract Unicron while the warriors did their damage. Micronus, sitting on Quintus's shoulder, participated in great battle against Unicron, deflecting the Energon, seeking missiles fired at the Primes by Unicron with his own powers. The Primes used Vector Prime's portals to fight their way inside Unicron, with Prima and Solus leading the effort. Unicron's Dark Energon retaliated, unleashing a torrent of nightmarish visions that nearly overwhelmed their attempts to deactivate him. Only Optimus Prime's calm remarks motivated them to continue with their quest. The 13 eventually defeated Unicron and returned to Cybertron, ecstatic with their victory. What they didn't realize was that their near encounter with Unicron had heightened parts of their inner darkness. After that, the Primes began establishing a settlement for themselves in the following era, separating into like-minded groups. Some concentrated on labor, while others discussed law and philosophy. Micronus collaborated on an Energon refinery alongside Megatronus, Nexus, and Liege Maximo. Nevertheless, Micronus, along with Onyx Prime, Solus Prime, and Nexus Prime, never fit in with either group, as they saw the other Primes as dreary, uninspired, and chaffed under some of Primus' most stringent restrictions. Micronus was pleased for Megatronus and Solus Prime as they formed a deep mutual attachment for one another. Even still, tensions between these ad hoc organizations continued to mount, culminating when Prima learned of Liege Maximo and Quintus Prime's farm of artificial creatures. The Primes convened a vote to decide the farm's fate. Micronus voted against continuing the endeavor. Not long later, Micronus and Onyx were the first to realize that Megatronus' Requiem blaster had slain Solus Prime. Micronus was grieved by the loss and nearly enraged when he learned Megatronus was behind a crime. Micronus joined 6 of the other Primes and they tracked Megatronus down via Vector Prime. Micronus, still distraught, refused to trust Megatronus' version of events, ultimately leading to the Primes challenging Liege Maximo, whom Megatronus had charged with coordinating the entire conspiracy. The remaining Primes' hatred and sorrow eventually boiled over, and while Maximo's creatures run rampant, the 12 Cybertronians attacked each other in a mindless rage. In the end, Micronus escaped the melee unhurt, while Liege Maximo was blasted to bits with a Requiem cannon, and Onyx Prime was gravely injured. After the surviving Primes had quieted down, they began treating the wounded. Micronus and the other survivors concealed Liege Maximo's bones in a crevice and held a tribute to Solus Prime in deep space over time. The Primes turned their focus on Cybertron and their future ambitions, hoping to put their tumultuous history behind them. Micronus attempted to console the dying Onyx, and the two convened a conference of all the remaining Primes. Since Primus had created them, the Primes agreed to use the power of Onyx's cryptic mask inside the Well of Allsparks to produce the next generation of Cybertronians, and the Primes would retire from public society. Micronus chose at the last minute to follow Onyx on his final trek into the well. Their sacrifice ignited the well, allowing it to begin creating new life.
You do not understand, Optimus Prime. For you to face this challenge, we must share with you a portion...
Generation 1 continuity. Micronus was a member of the 13 Primes that led the 13 tribes and were created on Cybertron after the Knights of Cybertron fled. Along with 4 other Primes, Micronus was pulled to the Crystal City Alliance, ruled from the city's citadel according to Sentinel Prime. Micronus was ill, reputed for abandoning his closest allies, Onyx Prime and Liege Maximo, in the midst of the first Cybertronian Civil War. All of the other Primes except Alpha Treon managed to flee Cybertron once Nexus Prime was decimated by Galvatron. After that, Micronus took the colonization mission to a faraway world aboard his Titan, Preon. He supervised the development of a new culture of Transformers from Preon's hot point, which eventually evolved into a mini-con planet. On the other hand, Sentinel Prime alleged that Micronus abandoned his people in their hour of need, abdicating Preon's world through Space Bridge and enabling the colony to be genocided by the Black Bloc Consortia. He eventually created a subatomic world known as Microspace and fled inside it 7 million years ago. His lifeless body was in the heart of the entropy cloud, which threatened to wipe out the whole universe. Shockwave would deliver one of his Regenesis ores, Ore 3, to Preon eons later. Micronus Prime's moniker was maintained in the Way of Flame, Solus Prime's colony Caminus' religion. Micronus sought to contact Optimus Prime via the Titan Metra Titan to save his kingdom using Earth's resources of Ore 13. Sadly, the communication was not received correctly. Instead, Windblade's consciousness traveled beyond time and space. Micronus informed his Camian guest that she needed to hear his message to comprehend his predicament. Windblade's new avatar was dispatched into Microspace, where she met the villainous Baron Karza and his entourage and learned about the looming civil war. After Windblade's mind returned to her natural body, Micronus came in a final vision, pleading with her to assist his dimension in any way she could. Later, Baron Karza established his primary headquarters within Micronus' body, where he used the Prime's own space bridge to preserve Microspace. The brave Micronauts cross the space bridge and arrive on Earth at Metra Titan Space Bridge Chamber. Karza intended to seize Earth as a new home for the residents of Microspace after an unsuccessful effort to acquire Earth's Ore 13. Though it was a danger, he eventually merged with Micronus Prime, providing him with part of Micronus' memories of the Minicon colony. Karza came to the location of his past exile using the Prime's body and dispatched Optimus Prime in a furious rage. Karza saw Micronus' might as superior to all other Earth's supervillains. Once Shazraela obtained time traveler energy, Optimus Prime attempted to sucker punch a confused Karza, only for the Baron to energize with Micronus once again. When Shazraela's abilities grew out of control, Karza and Optimus negotiated a truce, but her abilities proved too powerful for them, and she separated Micronus from Karza, banishing the old Prime beyond time. Micronus' spark fell into the hands of one of the 12 Prime Masters. Disguised behind a set of fake armor, they protected the Prime's talents until this day. The Prime Master could harness the energies of Micronus' spark and provide unique skills to each new companion by combining them with a bigger Transformer. Micronus Prime in 2015 Robots in Disguise cartoon show. Transformers Robots in Disguise is a 2015 American animated TV series created by Hasbro Studios and Darby Pop Productions for Cartoon Network. In this series, Micronus Prime, 13's tiniest member, was the first Minicon made by Primus, and was supposed to act as the group's conscience. Micronus' particular skill was the ability to bestow strength to his siblings via his Chimera Stone, allowing him to briefly imitate their powers. His closest buddy was Onyx Prime, but he also became pals with the artistic Nexus and Solus Prime. Before his spark could be extinguished, the Primes saved Optimus Prime when he gave his life to preserve Cybertron. With the other 13 members, he ended up in the extra-dimensional realm of the Primes. The Primes decided to prepare Optimus for his new duty by appointing Micronus as his new tutor since they foresaw Megatronus' ascension to Earth. Micronus once challenged Optimus to a hill climb during a training session. As Optimus questioned the difficulties of his mission, Micronus sent a group of people and a menacing robot with several Minicon minions to attack them. Optimus struggled in vain to defend the humans, constantly pleading with Micronus for assistance, but Micronus refused each time. Optimus eventually recognized that he needed to climb the simple hill first, which awakened his Prime Decepticon Hunter, an ability of his new sword giving him the strength to fight the robots and save only one human. At the end of the test, Micronus disclosed that the people were only illusions designed to demonstrate that there will always be difficult decisions in the coming wars and to keep the objective in sight. Sadly, the moment came before Optimus' training was completed, but Micronus still chose him ahead of the other Primes. Micronus and the other Primes gave some of their strength to Optimus and sent him to Earth when he persuaded them. During the fight with Megatronus, Micronus arrived at Bumblebee's troops on Earth and reclaimed the power that Optimus had been given. Even though this put Optimus in a vulnerable position, Micronus examined him and indicated he would recover soon.
You were focused on your mission on Earth. After the test began, you were focused on battling the enemy.
Marvelous verdict. That brings us to the end of the video. The hit animated series called Transformers Armada featured Minicons, who were miniature Transformers that could power links with their bigger counterparts for a boost. Since the 13 had been represented as forebearers of Transformers subgroups, it stands to reason that their numbers included the original Minicon, Micronus Prime, the 13's conscience. Micronus, who was bursting with energy, had the potential to energize his siblings. However, he has been portrayed in fiction only infrequently. That doesn't take away his mantle of being Optimus Prime's tutor and one of the toughest Transformers ever. What do you think about Micronus Prime? Let us know of your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, click that like button and share this video with your friends. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
You will survive this, Optimus Prime. You must!